Hello, everyone. So, I'm back with more Lonely Men's comments to translate. And I don't think I'll ever run out of Lonely Men's comments to translate because apparently lonely men have nothing better to do than to run around on the internet and leave comments on women's content. It's just it's just constant. I just try to find the ones that I find the most amusing. And what's happening now is that the way that things are set up, at least on Instagram, if you leave a troll comment, I will either block you or restrict you, depending on what you say and depending on your profile. And so now I've blocked and restricted multiple profiles. And now, whenever I post a video on Instagram, I end up seeing all these things that say restricted comment, restricted comment, restricted comment. So that means that these men, are literally watching everything that I post and commenting on all of it. So I got a few of those today. I pulled out a few of those. But anyway, let's get into it. This first guy wrote, "Hey, you typically express a very undesirable perspective on men. I hope this is not what you're teaching you, son. Your rhetoric is doing more harm than good. Try looking up the word misandry. You're welcome." All right. I think it's funny that whenever someone speaks out about problematic male behavior, they call you either a male basher, which I already did a video about. It's not a real thing. It's not a real phenomenon. Nobody can give an example or a definition of it, so it's not real. Or a misandrist, which is also hilarious because um, if I hated men, honestly, I wouldn't talk about you. I would give no energy to something I hated. So that doesn't apply either. But those are the two things that always pop up. But the other thing that I find interesting or funny about this comment is just like when someone calls out racism, there'll be a racist that says you're being divisive. Systems of oppression like racism and sexism and patriarchy depend on silencing those who call out the oppression. So if you call out something that's oppressive, something that's problematic with the dominant class, the dominant class will say, "Hey, you're being the bad guy. You're doing something wrong. You're causing problems." No, calling out the behavior doesn't cause the problem. The problem is the behavior. And ignoring the behavior is the problem. So just because I call out problematic male behavior doesn't mean I'm being divisive. I mean, it means I'm highlighting an issue. And if that issue makes you uncomfortable, that means you're part of the problem. So instead of getting uncomfortable, why don't you work on yourself? Okay? All right, do that. All right, next. Uh, this guy, another person I restricted. All right, you ready? All right. "I think you get a kick out of it. I hope you find any man that can deal with you, or at this point, woman. If every time I see your profile, you talk negative about the same subject, then it's bashing. If I'm not the only one that feels this way, then there's some truth to it. Your followers are not that stupid to have you look it up." Okay, I don't know what this guy's talking about. To be honest, I don't know. I just think it's funny that he's restricted and he's still commenting, and obviously following my post and following my profile. Um, it's like an obsession at this point. But just to be honest, a lot of men feel hurt by the things that I say. That doesn't make them less truthful. It just means that what I'm saying is hurting your feelings. And if something I says hurts your feelings, you need to figure out what it is that I said that's causing you pain. Is it because I'm calling out something that you did too? And if that makes you uncomfortable or if that hurts your feelings, go work on that. Go work on that. But yeah, I honestly don't even know what this guy was trying to say. I just thought it was funny that he's going from video to video to video, leaving a comment. He might even leave a comment on this video. Okay. All right, next. This guy wrote, "Thank you for responding to my previous comment about your male bashing. Sorry that you disagree. You seem to believe since you speak in a calm voice, all the disdain that you spew is reasonable and validated, but it's not. What distinguishes your site as Man Hater You is the fact that no female bad behavior is ever highlighted or kind word proffered of any man. That's fine. It's your channel and you can do with it what you will. You have the luxury to be able to sit there in your smugness in the comfy confines of the world that men build and say the most ridiculous things, and that's okay. But you know, and I know that God forbid if or when the next human bottleneck event occurs, all women, you included, will be searching for the strongest, craftiest, and most dominant man you can find to provide, protect, and provision you. Deep down, that's really got a sting, huh? Okay. All right. This would crack me up for many reasons. Um, I noticed that, okay, sorry. Let me pull my thoughts together. I noticed that insecure men are quick to describe me and women like me who are confident as smug or arrogant because we like we intimidate them. It's intimidating to deal with a woman like me and like the women like us who are confident, who operate outside the confines of patriarchy, who understand how these systems of oppression work and kind of can call you out. It tickles me because they just love to try to. It's like you're trying to tear me down and you can't. You can't. Like it's funny, but you try and you can't. I'm making you feel inferior. Well, actually, no. You feel inferior when you see me. That's not my issue. That's your issue. You need to work on yourself. But the other thing that cracks me up is that he wants me to call out female bad behavior. Sir, there's plenty of channels for you to watch that talk negatively about women all the time. I'm not sure why you're here. You can go get that if you want. It's a lot of it on YouTube and on Instagram. It's all over the place. Why are you here? And the thing that's really, really funny is that I'm not here to offer you kind words. That's emotional support. See, men are always looking for women to provide them with emotional support. I'm not here to make you feel good about yourself. That's not my job. That's your job. Stop expecting women to do the emotional labor for you. Like, just, pull yourself together, get some counseling, therapy would help you tremendously. Yeah. So I'm not here to coddle you, sir. And then the other thing that's really funny, he's another one that thinks men built everything and then there's going to be some kind of disaster and women are going to be desperately searching for a man to help them. It's never going to happen, sweetie. Never going to happen. If anything, if there is a disaster, the men are going to be looking for the women to help them. Like always. Because that's what we do. We are literally the people who get us through disasters. Women. Okay. All right. Next. So this one just cracked me up. That's why I added this one. Are y'all ready for this? This guy wrote, listening to Kevin Samuels helped me eliminate my credit card debt, get my dream job and a wife. Listening to his critics got me nothing. I thought that was hilarious. That is very impressive for a dead guy who had none of those things. Yeah. I mean, even if it's true, because I don't believe you. But even if it's true, it's still sad if that's what happened. If that's how you feel about Kevin Samuels. That's just sad. That's just sad. But anyway, I had to share that one because it cracked me up. Okay. All right. And the last one I'm going to share today. This guy wrote, so the women who shame men for their small penis are secret members of patriarchy. That's some impressive deflection. All right, lesson time. Women are not secret members of patriarchy. They're active participants in patriarchy. Just so you know, patriarchy is a dominant culture, and everyone within that culture is affected by it. So that means that women also do things that what we consider patriarchal. So yeah, women might say that, may laugh at your small penis. That's patriarchy still, because patriarchy says you're less manly. So even we all do it. We're all operating within patriarchy. There are always things that are going to be triggered. If you grow up in a dominant culture, for example, in this culture has a dominant white supremacist culture. There's a lot of black people who think negatively about other black people. That's because of white supremacy. That's because of the dominant culture. That's because of racism. So just in the same way, women also do things that are part of sexism and patriarchy. They have internalized sexism, and they also have internalized patriarchy. So when they make fun of you, if they make fun of you, yes, it's because of patriarchy, not because she's a woman. It's patriarchy that says you're less than a man. And so women grow up learning that you're less than a man because of patriarchy, because you have a small penis. So it's not secret. It's not unusual. Women operate and say things because of patriarchy all the time. All the time. So that's your lesson for the day. Just so you know, yes, women also say things that are sexist. Yeah, even to men. Because patriarchy hurts everybody. It doesn't just hurt women, it hurts men too. And sexism doesn't just hurt women, it hurts men too. And patriarchy is operating all the time, even with women. So that's your lesson for the day. I hope you learned something. So all the people who also commented that women say make fun of my small penis, still because of patriarchy. Anyway, peace, guys.